to another wonderful episode of Joshua's Movie Reviews and More. We'll get to the more later. Keep that in mind. Today, this week, sorry about the late video, but I was more into, I guess, fantasy type of kid stuff, especially since I had my kids this weekend. But that all depends on what you're into. This week was House with a Clock in Its Walls. Now, this stars, for one purpose, Jack Black, who plays Jonathan. He is the main character's uncle. He's also a warlock. As you've seen in the trailers, they live in a house. It's very funky and has a clock in its walls. They're trying to find the clock because they don't know what the clock does. Needless to say, it does some squirrely stuff. Jack Black, this is kind of a long list. Like I said, I list all the movies that I have seen with the person in it. Jack Black, you have Demolition Man, Waterworld, Dead Man Walking, Biodome, The Cable Guy, Mars Attacks, The Jackal, Enemy of the State, High Fidelity, Saving Silverman, Shallow Hal, Orange County, Ice Age, School of Rock, Anchorman, Shark Tale, King Kong, Nacho Libre. Yeah, that's... Nacho Libre is, to some people, it's a monument of comedic talent, but to some it's kind of like a pimple on the butt of the world. I tend to believe the latter, and yes, Nacho Libre is 2 hours of my life I won't get back. But he was also in The Holiday. I don't know how many of the Kung Fu Pandas I've seen, especially with kids, but he plays the panda. He was also in Tropic Thunder. Great. I love that. I don't know why, but I love that movie. It's great. Gulliver's Travels, and also, of course, the remake of Jumanji. Jack Black with a female playing him in a video game is quite funny. Anyway, like I said, he's a warlock and he plays the uncle. You also have Cate Blanchett. She plays Florence, who is Jonathan's neighbor and friend. She's also a witch. You know her from Elizabeth, Pushing 10, The Talented Mr. Ripley, of course, the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She was in The Aviator, Babel, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Sort of like that movie, but it got kind of stupid at the end. Anyway, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, How to Train Your Dragon 2, which she's also going to be in How to Train Your Dragon 3, and Thor Ragnarok. Like I said, she's a witch. Her powers are kind of iffy every once in a while, but you know, she plays a very good character. Owen Valacro, I don't know, Vaccaro. You pronounce it out, everyone. He plays Lewis. He is Jonathan's 10-year-old nephew. The only thing I know him from is Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2. But he does play an interesting character as well. It was a good movie. Pretty much, they didn't put all the good stuff in the trailers, so there is some stuff to watch. The only thing I can say is like the whole entire movie was really good, but the purpose of the clock is kind of anticlimactic. It's I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing it does. And plus, I don't have the person, and I can't think of his name, but he was in Dune. He was in a whole bunch of other stuff. But he plays the villain. And honestly, he doesn't play it very well, which surprised me because with Dune and so many other things he's been in, you think he would have brought more to the table. But it was I don't know. I had mixed feelings about the ending, but it was still worth watching. If you raise your kids on Goosebumps and stuff like that, great movie to watch. If you raise your kids on unicorns and fairies and lollipops, you might not want your kids to go see it. My 8-year-old saw it right when Owen, his character, Lewis, first goes in the house, and obviously the house is kind of creepy. My 8-year-old has hands on over his eyes, but once Lewis gets used to the house and everything like that, and you find out the house is good and actually likes Lewis and blah blah, his hands went down. He enjoyed the rest of the film, but the first shock of the house kind of creeped him out. But other than that, great movie. The other movie I'm reviewing is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The only reason I'm doing this film is because, obviously, Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them 2, Crimes of Grindelwald, is coming out. You have Eddie Redmayne. He plays Newt. He is a British wizard who goes to America. He also works for the Ministry of Magic, by the way. The only things I know him from were The Theory of Everything and Jupiter Ascending. He was also in The Pianist, I believe. No. I believe so. Maybe. No. Yes. Sorry. But I'd never seen it, so I didn't list it. Which is why I had a hard time remembering if he was in it or not. But he does play, I've seen him in interviews and everything like that. He's kind of jittery and everything, and he does do that in the movie, so good prayer for that. He plays it kind of kooky. I guess because Newt cares more about the animals than, he cares about, humans and everything like that, but he's better with animals than he is with people. Let's put it that way. You also have Kathy Watterson. She plays Tina Goldstein. She is an former Aura. Works for the American, I guess, version of Ministry of Magic. No love interest, really, as far as I can tell. But she is after trying to help. First, she's trying to catch Newt because she thinks he's doing something squirrely, which he is. It's because some of his not monsters, but some of his animals get out. And she's trying to bring him in and everything like that. The only thing I know Catherine from is the movie Steve Jobs. She has been in a few, but nothing I've seen. You also have Dan Fogler. He plays Jacob. He is a No-Maj, or if you've seen the Harry Potter series, he's a Muggle. He is a cannery worker. He's aspiring to be a baker. And he meets Newt in basically a bank. Jacob's trying to get a loan, and Newt is actually looking for. Anyway, see it. It's good. It's actually very funny. But you know him from Good Luck Chuck, Kung Fu Panda, Take Me Home Tonight, Europa Report, and Barely Legal. Sorry. But he gets bit, and there might be some side effects and everything like that. So Newt takes him with him to observe him to see if he needs any antidotes or anything like that. But he eventually finds finds himself useful. He's, he doesn't have magical powers or anything like that, but he becomes very useful to Newt throughout the movie. You also have Allison. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but it's Sudol. She plays Queenie. It is Tina's sister. She's skilled at mind reading, and this is actually her first big film debut. She's, for what I can tell, she's been in the music trade for a while, but this is her first big film. You have Ezra Miller, who is Credence. He's the one they're basically looking for. He's the one causing all the trouble. He has magic, but he's been forced to not practice it by his mother, a very closed-minded woman, and that causes, I still don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm sorry to the Harry Potter fan base. I should say J.K. Rowling fan base, since Harry Potter isn't even in these films. But he has his basically powers unleashed, and it causes a lot of mayhem and chaos and a few deaths, and he's a very troubled kid. But you know him from The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the Stanford Prison Experiment, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, and Justice League. Justice League, he played the Flash, and Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad, he had cameos in those. But you also have Colin Farrell. He plays Parzival Graves. He's a high-ranking Aura, and he's, I try not to give any spoilers, but he's the one who is basically hunting down this terrible menace and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know. But Colin Farrell, you know him from Hearts War, Minority Report, Phone Booth, Daredevil, The Recruit, SWAT, Alexander, Miami Vice, and The Burgess, The Imaginatorium of Dr. Parnassus, Horrible Bosses, Fright Night, Total Recall, Dead Man Down, and Saving Mr. Banks. Out of all this film, I mean, it's a very good film, has great CG, the animals are great that you learn about. The only problem is that you go to see this movie, or you buy it or rent it or something like that to see the animals, and you get curious about them, and they do a great job at them. But the only problem is now you have this menace going around New York and causing all this chaos and all this kind of stuff, and I honestly don't care. I want to see the animals. I want to see him go in his suitcase and look at all these animals. That's why it's like I almost fall asleep when it gets to, unfortunately for Colin, I mean, I'm a big Colin Farrell fan, but I get bored when I'm seeing him and his storyline and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, come on, man, get back to the animals. Those are great. And who cares about this big thing that's causing all this chaos and killing people? I don't care. I care about the animals. But overall, it's a good movie to watch. You definitely want to watch it before you watch the second film coming out, if you haven't watched it yet. There is some background stuff and some stuff happens in the film that you probably really need to know about and before the second film comes out. Because a few people who were in this film will also be in the second one. So they have character development and all that kind of stuff. So you really want to go watch it. Which is why I don't want to put in any spoilers. Normally I go through the whole entire thing and say, oh yeah, this is good, this happens at the end. But I don't want to do that because the second film coming out. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I just got done watching Ready Player One again. I went and bought it and everything like that. But here's the thing. I also bought the book because I went and saw the film before I realized that it was a book. Now, I know how y'all thinking, especially with Stephen King books and everything like that. I've read all the books before the movies come out. And I get really disappointed because I don't like, I like the movies in their own merit, but at the same time, I don't like them because they weren't as good as the book. But here's the thing. I would suggest going out and buying Ready Player One, the book. Even if you've seen the movie, you say, well, I've already seen the movie, so I don't need to read the book. Not in this case. Actually, if you read the book is almost completely different than the movie. You see some books and they get turned into movies, and they tweak it a little bit for better watching. Well, they almost completely tweaked this book. Other than the main characters and everything, and the main plot with the keys and everything like that, is completely different. And you don't just find a key and open a gate and get a clue. You actually have to get the key, then you have to get through the gate. The gate is its own thing, and then you get the clue afterwards, after you get done with the gate. So it's a bit more detailed. I'm only about a little over halfway through the book as of yet. But so far as I can tell, it's completely different, and in its own right, it's its own story. And if you liked Ready Player One, like I did, you'll like the book as well. So, I'm sorry I've been working a lot of hours. I'm sorry about the video being late. But that's it. I'll have more stuff for you this weekend. I don't know exactly when I'll get out my next video, but I am going to go watch a movie this weekend, so keep that in mind. Other than that, this is me, as always, signing off, saying if you're not going to be good at it.